Okay, simultaneous linear equations. Oh my word, grade 12s, this is so important. Simultaneous equations that are linear. Okay, simultaneous linear equations. Let's revise this. This was discussed in grade 10 in the Moby School lessons. We go into a lot of detail, but I think it's so important that we revise an example of this. Okay, so let's have a look at an example quickly, and what I want to do is I want you to solve for x and y in these equations. 3x minus y is equal to 10, x plus y is equal to 6, and we want to solve for x and y. It comes up in analytical calculus, sequences, and a whole lot of other maths that we do. So it's important that you master this section now in detail. Okay, now what we can do, one way of doing it, there are many different ways of doing it. I'm going to use what we call the method of elimination. Okay, first. Now, if you look at one possible method, what we can do is we're going to label each equation. So I'm going to call this first equation A, okay, and the second equation, x plus y, I'm going to call B. Now, look at this. If you simply vertically add the like terms, you're going to eliminate the y's. Now, it's important when you eliminate, if you eliminate two terms, they've got to be exactly the same but differ in sign. Now, look at this. The y's are the same, but they differ in sign. So when you vertically add those things, you're going to get something very interesting happening. 3x plus 1x is 4x. Negative y plus y cancels out, and 10 plus 6 is 16. And then if you divide both sides by 4, you get x is equal to 4 as one of your solutions. Okay, now all you've got to do is you've got to substitute 4 into any of those equations, either A or B. Now let's suppose if I use equation A, I've got 3x. Now remember, x is going to take on the value 4. Okay, now let's see what is the y value. So we're going to put 4 into x's place. So that's 3 multiplied by 4 minus y is 10. 3 fours are 12 minus y is equal to 10. And then negative y is equal to 10 minus 12, which is negative 2. And of course then your y value would be 2. So your x is 4 and your y is 2. That is one way of doing it. Okay, now let me show you another way that you could approach it. So let's have a look at a method 2. Okay, there are many different options here. The second method says this. Okay, let's label the equations. Okay, and that's x plus y is equal to 6. Now, one other way, what you could do is if I want to eliminate the x's, all I need to do is make them the same, the terms in x, but they must have different signs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave equation A alone. Okay, so let's leave A alone. But what I'm going to do to equation B, I'm going to multiply by negative 3. Every term is going to be multiplied by negative 3. Now, what is x times negative 3? Would be negative 3x. What is y multiplied by negative 3 is negative 3y. And what is 6 multiplied by negative 3 is negative 18. So what you're really doing in this thing, all you're doing is you're multiplying each of these terms by negative 3, multiplying that by negative 3, multiplying the 6 by negative 3, giving you this brand new equation, which of course, if you like, we can refer to as equation C. Now, look at this. All you've got to do is add A and C. Now look at this. 3x minus 3x cancels. Negative 1y minus 3y is negative 4y. Equals 10 minus 18 is negative 8. Now look at this. If you divide both sides by negative 4, y is equal to 2 as you wanted, as like the previous example. And then you can select any of the equations A, B, or C to enable you to work out what the value of x is. So what if we chose equation A again? Let's have a look here. We've got 3x minus y is 10. The y value is of course 2, so it's 3x minus 2 is equal to 10. And then we can solve for x. So 3x is equal to 12. 10 plus 2 is 12. Divide both sides by 3, and x is equal to 4. So x is 4, y is 2, as you previously did in grade 10. Okay. Alright, now a third method is very, very interesting. So, and this is called the method of substitution. Okay, also a very popular method. Let's have a look at our equations. We've got 3x minus y is equal to 10. That's equation A. And x plus y is equal to 6, equation B. Now what you can do is you can pick any of the equations and solve for one of the variables. So let's say let's pick equation A and solve for y. I mean, there's a whole lot of options here. There's 4 things you could have done. In equation A, you could solve for x, you can solve for y. In equation B, you can solve for x or y. But let's take equation A. Okay, and what I want you to do is we're going to take equation A and we're going to solve for y. So let's have a look here. I deliberately did this because of the negative in front of the y. Now look at that. So if you solve for y, you bring the 3x to the right, giving you negative 3x plus the 10. Okay, and then all you've got to do is multiply throughout by the negative, and you get y is equal to 3x minus 10. Okay, now once you've got that, you then go to equation A, B. In fact, I would say go to equation B now, to the other equation that you haven't used. And you've got x plus y is equal to 6. Now, what do you know about y? Y is going to be 3x minus 10. So you've got x plus the y value is 3x minus 10. That's got x in it, you see. There we go, equals the 6, and that's the x there. This is equation B. You're simply replacing the y value with 3x minus 10. Now if you work this out, you get 4x minus 10 is equal to 6. So 4x is equal to 16. Divide both sides by 4, and x is 4. And there we've got it. And then all you can do is, if you want to get the corresponding y values, call that equation C. What we can then do is we can say, well, y would be, if it's 3x minus 10, all you now do is you replace the x with a 4. So y is equal to 3 multiplied by 4 minus 10, which gives you 12 minus 10, which of course is 2. There we go. That's exactly like the other methods. Now you can see there's many different options, but the most important thing is to master simultaneous linear equations. You're going to need them for a lot of topics. Go back to grade 10 Moby School lessons under equations, and you can get wonderful detailed explanations in more detail than this, in the Moby School lessons for grade 10.